They said the regime was strong. They said nothing was wrong. But when bombers take off in billions, disappear overnight, the truth becomes impossible to hide. Tonight, we reveal why Khamenei's inner circle is running, where the money went, and why many believe this is the beginning of the end. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Tonight's story is one that is sending shockwaves across the Middle East and beyond. As U.S. bombers reportedly take off and military tensions reach unprecedented levels, a stunning claim has emerged. The son of Iran's supreme leader has allegedly fled with $1.5 billion. Whether fully confirmed or not, this narrative alone reveals something deeply unsettling about the current state of the Iranian regime. When those closest to power begin preparing escape routes, it signals fear, panic, and collapse at the highest levels. For decades, Iran's leadership projected strength, resistance, and absolute control. Yet behind closed doors, the reality appears very different. Sources suggest frantic movements, rushed exits, and financial lifelines being activated abroad. This is not how confident governments behave. This is how regimes act when they believe the ground beneath them is cracking. Tonight, we will break down what led to this moment, why the timing matters, and what it could mean for Iran, the region, and global stability. Stay with us as we connect the dots, separate speculation from strategy, and examine why so many are now saying three chilling words: it's over. Every detail matters, and every signal points toward a turning point the world may remember for years. The alleged escape of Khamenei's son is not just about money or movement. It is about symbolism. In authoritarian systems, loyalty is enforced from the top, and family members are expected to stand firm no matter the storm. When a leader's own bloodline is rumored to be fleeing, it sends a devastating message internally. Officials lower down the chain begin asking themselves a dangerous question: if the top family is leaving, why should we stay? Reports circulating among regional intelligence circles claim assets were liquidated quietly, accounts activated abroad, and travel routes secured long before headlines broke. This suggests preparation, not panic, which is far more alarming. Preparation means expectation. It means someone believed escalation was inevitable. At the same time, Iranian state media remained silent or dismissive, focusing on routine programming as if nothing unusual was happening. This contrast between external rumors and internal denial has only fueled public suspicion. History shows that regimes often collapse not from external attack, but from internal disbelief. Once trust erodes, control weakens rapidly. Whether this specific story proves fully accurate or partially exaggerated, its impact is already real. It has ignited fear within elite circles and hope among opponents. In political warfare, perception can be just as powerful as missiles. And right now, perception is turning sharply against Tehran. The timing of these reports is impossible to ignore. U.S. bomber movements, increased regional deployments, and unusually blunt warnings from Western officials have created an atmosphere of imminent confrontation. Military analysts note that such bomber activity is rarely symbolic. It is meant to send clear messages to both allies and adversaries. For Iran's leadership, this kind of signal triggers worst-case planning. Evacuation plans, asset protection, and succession contingencies are standard playbooks for regimes under threat. What makes this moment different is the scale and visibility of the alleged actions. $1.5 billion is not pocket change. It represents years of accumulated power and privilege. If true, it suggests a belief that sanctions, strikes, or internal collapse could soon make recovery impossible. Meanwhile, Iranian citizens face inflation, shortages, and repression, watching elites potentially secure golden parachutes abroad. This contrast deepens public anger. Social media, despite censorship, has amplified rumors at lightning speed. Every unverified report becomes fuel for unrest. Governments can suppress facts, but they struggle to suppress fear. As bombers reportedly take off and money reportedly moves, the psychological battlefield becomes just as critical as the physical one. And on that battlefield, the Iranian regime appears increasingly vulnerable. To understand why this story resonates so strongly, we must look at Iran's recent internal pressures. Years of protests sparked by economic hardship and social restrictions have steadily chipped away at the regime's authority. Each crackdown restored order temporarily, but at a growing cost. Security forces are stretched, morale is uncertain, and loyalty is no longer guaranteed. In such conditions, even rumors of elite flight can trigger cascading effects. Bureaucrats hesitate, commanders second-guess orders, investors freeze assets. The alleged escape of a supreme leader's son magnifies every existing crack. It transforms private doubts into public conversations. Internationally, rivals watch closely for signs of weakness, while allies grow nervous about instability. This is why regimes fight rumors so aggressively. They understand their power. Yet aggressive denials can sometimes backfire, drawing more attention than silence. For ordinary Iranians, this story reinforces a long-held belief that sacrifices are demanded only from the public, never from those at the top. Whether on the streets or online, that belief can be explosive. Revolutions are rarely planned in advance. They ignite when enough people stop believing the system will protect them. Right now, belief appears to be draining fast. From a geopolitical perspective, this moment places enormous pressure on decision makers in Washington and beyond. If Iranian elites are indeed preparing exits, foreign powers must calculate whether deterrence is working or accelerating collapse. There is always a risk that cornered regimes lash out unpredictably. That is why bomber deployments are paired with diplomatic signals, warnings, and back-channel communications. The goal is control, not chaos. However, history shows that once elite cohesion breaks, external pressure becomes far more effective. Financial flight is often the first domino. When money leaves, confidence follows, markets react, currencies weaken, and daily life becomes harder almost overnight. These pressures feed internal dissent, which then feeds further elite defections. It becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. Iran's leadership has survived similar storms before, but never in a world so interconnected. Information travels faster than repression. Leaks spread faster than denials. And images of luxury escapes stand in brutal contrast to images of struggling citizens. This is why the story of one family member matters so much. It is not about one person, it is about what that person represents. Power, when it starts running, rarely stops until it finds safety. And sometimes, safety is no longer available. Supporters of the Iranian leadership argue that these reports are exaggerated psychological warfare designed to weaken morale. They point out past instances where similar rumors failed to materialize. This skepticism is important and necessary. Not every headline reflects reality. Yet even exaggerated stories can produce real-world consequences. Markets react to fear, not footnotes. Protesters react to belief, not confirmation. In modern conflict, perception is weaponized deliberately. That raises an uncomfortable question. If this is psychological warfare, why does it feel so plausible? The answer lies in existing patterns. Elites around the world have historically secured exit options during crisis, regardless of public rhetoric. Offshore accounts, second passports, and quiet property purchases are common among ruling families. These patterns make current rumors believable, even without proof. For Iran's leadership, credibility is already strained by economic mismanagement and broken promises. Each new rumor sticks more easily than the last. The regime now faces a dilemma: respond forcefully and risk amplifying the story, or ignore it and let it grow unchecked. Neither option is comfortable. In such moments, control slips not through dramatic events, but through thousands of small decisions made under uncertainty. And uncertainty is exactly what defines Iran's current moment. Regional actors are also recalculating their positions. Allies who rely on Iranian support are quietly assessing contingency plans. Rivals are testing boundaries, watching for hesitation or overreaction. In the Middle East, perception of strength can determine alliances overnight. If Iran appears distracted or internally divided, its influence abroad could weaken rapidly. That would reshape power balances from Lebanon to Yemen. At the same time, escalation risks remain severe. Any miscalculation could trigger broader conflict, drawing in multiple actors. This is why the reported bomber movements are so significant. They are signals meant to prevent action, not provoke it. Yet signals can be misread, especially under stress. For ordinary people across the region, this uncertainty translates into fear of war and economic disruption. Energy markets react, shipping routes tense. Diplomacy accelerates behind closed doors. All of this is happening while a single narrative dominates headlines: the idea that those at the top are preparing to flee. Whether true or not, that narrative is shaping decisions right now. In international politics, stories can move faster than tanks, and once a story convinces enough decision makers, it becomes part of reality. Looking ahead, several scenarios emerge. One possibility is de-escalation, where threats and rumors fade as back-channel negotiations restore a fragile calm. Another is internal consolidation, with the regime cracking down harder to reassert control. The most dangerous scenario is miscalculation, where fear drives rash decisions on all sides. The alleged movement of elite family members would fit most naturally into the first and third scenarios, preparation for either compromise or catastrophe. What is clear is that the old narrative of absolute stability no longer holds. Even supporters sense vulnerability. Even critics sense opportunity. Moments like this are inflection points, not conclusions. History rarely announces its turning points clearly. They are recognized only in hindsight. Years from now, analysts may look back at these days as the moment when confidence finally broke. Or they may see them as another survived crisis. The difference will depend on decisions made quietly, far from cameras. For now, uncertainty reigns. Bombers in the air, money in motion, and rumors everywhere. That combination has ended regimes before. Whether it ends this one remains the defining question of the moment. For viewers trying to make sense of the noise, caution is essential. Not every claim is fact, and not every denial is truth. The smartest approach is to watch patterns, not headlines. Are elites behaving defensively? Are financial indicators worsening? Are protests spreading or shrinking? These signals matter more than any single report. The story of Khamenei's son resonates because it aligns with observable stress points. It feels consistent with pressure building from multiple directions at once. That consistency gives it power. Media ecosystems amplify such stories because audiences sense underlying truth even without confirmation. This is the paradox of modern information warfare. Credibility is earned emotionally before it is proven factually. Governments that ignore this reality do so at their peril. Right now, Iran's leadership faces not just military and economic challenges, but a crisis of narrative control. Once people stop believing official stories, restoring trust becomes nearly impossible. Trust, once lost, rarely returns quickly. And without trust, power becomes brittle. Brittle power can shatter suddenly without warning. That is why so many observers are watching closely, whispering the same phrase, something has changed. As we reach the end of this analysis, one thing is undeniable: moments like this do not happen in isolation. They are the result of years of pressure, miscalculation, resistance, and resilience. Whether or not every detail of this story proves accurate, its impact is already reshaping conversations worldwide. The idea that a ruling family might secure its future abroad while a nation faces uncertainty strikes at the heart of legitimacy. Legitimacy, once questioned, is difficult to rebuild. For Iran, the coming days and weeks will be decisive. Actions will matter more than words. Silence will speak louder than slogans. And movements, whether of bombers or bank transfers, will be scrutinized intensely. History teaches us that endings rarely look dramatic in the moment. They look confusing, contradictory, and rumor-filled. Only later do they appear inevitable. Are we witnessing an ending or just another chapter? That answer remains uncertain. But uncertainty itself is powerful. It changes behavior, it shifts loyalties, it opens doors that once seemed locked. For now, the world watches, waits, and listens for the next signal in a story that feels far from finished.